Constantine gathers, the Council of Nicaea. Athanasius is one of those church fathers, and Athanasius is on Team Irenaeus. And with sort of the political power of Rome and Constantine behind the church, I believe this is the moment where they realize, hey, we can now we can send out this letter, and that's what Athanasius did. He sent it's called the Easter letter. He sent this letter out to all the churches, again with the authority of Rome, saying, do not use these books anymore in your services, in your worship times, in your teaching times. And Thomas is one of those books. Now, what's fascinating about that is, what that tells us is, before that letter, Christians everywhere were using Thomas and these other books in their regular worship. They were, until they were told to not do it, to stop doing it. And so we think that that's the time. It seems like it falls in the right time frame. That Thomas and other books were probably burned, destroyed. They were lost. But there was a seminary around Egypt that instead of burning them, they put these books in a large clay jar, carried it out to the desert, and buried it in the ground. And it stayed there from about I think it's 340 AD, until it was accidentally discovered around 1945. And it was this literal time capsule of books. We had a complete copy of the Gospel of Thomas, which is fantastic. But some Gospels we had only heard about, had no copies of, like the Gospel of Truth, the Apocryphon of John. There's many other things that were discovered. This was at Nag Hammadi. And the Nag Hammadi discovery was fantastic. It was huge. And that's where we got Thomas from. So if you think about it, from around 340 AD until and it didn't get translated into English until 1959. Okay. And then I think they didn't even sell the a copy you could purchase in the stores until the 60s. So if you think about it, we've really only had Thomas, since I was born, kind of, to give you an idea. In my lifetime, we've had access to the Gospel of Thomas. But anyway, that seems to be the story as to why there was opposition to Thomas. And again, I would say not so much against what is being said in Thomas as opposition to the people that they didn't like or disagreed with, who championed Thomas.
Well, you mentioned earlier too, when beginning to read and engage with this, it on its face, it can be very hard to understand.